How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid Group. I know it's been a while since I've given you guys an update, but what we are seeing, there's clear resistance at the key levels that we've been talking about for quite some time on this channel. Most particular, that $40 area. Many traders are taking advantage. As soon as when it hits around 40, that's when you load up on those puts, take advantage of that downside. And then when you think about when it's looking bullish, you know what? I'll talk about it further inside of this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. You want to have a strategy if you're going to be trading this play. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what is the buying and the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $39.15, being up 3.96%. On the low, it tested $36.84, and then on the high, testing $40.29. When we take a look at our volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 82.107 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 82.084 million shares. So pretty much even, and we also did see some strength inside of the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 44.26. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we have strength above the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, but we are below the 21-day EMA. So as far as for the overall price action, one thing we do know for sure, $40 is a key level of resistance for Lucid. So the moment we can get some price action above 40 and most preferably getting to 42.50, this is where I'll start saying, well, we can look forward to that bullish move to the upside. As long as 40 remains resistance and we keep getting rejected, this is where we're going to have to see how long it can hold up at the $36 level. Last week, it got down to around $35.80. So if it was going to break through $35.80, then the next level you want to see some strength would be right here around $35 right on the dot. And if that broke through, then the next level to look out for would be $34.22. You'd want to see that actually hold. And if it doesn't hold, this is where you get close into the $30 range. Now, if it decides to consolidate, so what do I mean by this? If it says, well, you know what, we're going to form some support right at this $37 level, then at 37, you're going to want to see some consolidation and then some further tests getting past that $40 level. So there's many ways that you can look at this, but for the most part, as this week progresses and we have continued volatility, and we also do have the catalyst in regards to the NASDAQ 100, it'll be very interesting to see how Lucid performs, but just know for a fact, if there's resistance at 40, then you can find a put opportunity there. If it gets to 40 and it makes that move above 42.50, then of course you could take advantage of a call or going on with a long position. It all comes down to whatever strategy you want to come up with, but that's what I'm seeing clearly from the chart. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 61.34%. And then for the dark pool short volume being just over 28.72 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 500,000, updated 22 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 3.95%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of December the 9th, it was at 63.88. And then for the close of December the 10th, it was at 61.3. 0.34. So what this tells us right away, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential, and this is why with the volatility that's inside of the play, it does present a lot of opportunities, and that's why I talk about it on this channel. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So as you can see here on the inflow, it was 577, and then on the outflow, it was at 659. Taking a look at the breakdown, you can see on the large, it was 12.24. On the medium, it was 283. And then on the small, it was 282. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 16.41. On the medium, it was 324. And then on the small, it was 318. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for December the 10th, it was an inflow day, but for December the 13th, which is today, we ended up having an outflow of negative 4.18 million. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders, which represents the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the large, of course, since we just covered it, we had more selling than we had buying, and this could potentially represent institutions. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 5.01%. So for Lucid, this has been very consistent. We have many traders that are inside of this play taking advantage of the overall price action. We also have many who are taking profits, many who are also buying in due to the fact it wasn't too long ago when this stock is trading in the $50 range, and then people seeing it at 30, they're going to want to buy. And we also have to take into consideration the volatility inside of the markets. So now let's go into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid Group, let's go over the big news that came out. So they are going to be going into the NASDAQ 100 on December the 20th. This is going to help give them even more exposure. Institutions will be looking into buying in even more, and this is why we're going to continue to see volatility inside of this play. But of course, we have a strategy over here on this channel, whether you're a trader or whether you're an investor. For my traders out there, we know for a fact when Lucid goes to 40, we want to see momentum above 42.50, and this is where we can see that upside that we are looking for, because that shows there's a lot of demand and buying volume coming into the play. If it goes to 40 and it keeps on getting rejected, this is where you can look at an opportunity to go in with puts. It was only last week where it tested around 35.80, and then for today it tested around the $36 range. And then with the volatility we have inside of the market, you have to be able to take advantage and have a game plan so you're prepared for the price action. And this is why I've had some people come inside the Discord saying, hey, Dre, I watch your Lucid videos and you've been correct on that. And I always focus on being straight up and transparent with you guys. I'm a trader. Whatever direction this stock decides to go, I'm going to look for an opportunity. If you are an investor, of course, you're looking forward to upside. But at the same time, this is a growth stock. It's going to have a lot of ups and downs. So as far as for your overall entry, you want to make sure you're getting in at a good price. And plus on top of that, you are not overpaying. You have to pay attention to your overall margin of safety. And this is why I say you don't need to FOMO or buy stocks at the high. You want to wait for the stock to actually prove its valuation that it is given. And so far for Lucid, it has not done that. It will take time. And this is why I always say for investment purposes, this is not the price range that you want to buy Lucid in. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential. So there's a lot of volatility overall in general. So this is why you want to make sure if you're going to jump into this play, you do your homework, you do your due diligence, and then you can figure out with a plan that is right for you. Just don't blindly go out there following advice telling you, hey, you need to buy Lucid here or you need to sell it here. Again, do what works for you. See what fits your overall lifestyle, your personality, the way you approach the stock market. This is the best way to go about doing it so you don't get caught on the wrong end and you're not getting stuck holding bags, missing out on bigger and better opportunities. Another thing to take into consideration, we had a big time announcement today in regards to the infrastructure plan, most particular for EV charging stations. Joe Biden wants to get the US to have 500,000 charging stations, and they're going to be be committing around 7.5 billion in infrastructure. So of course, Lucid can benefit from this. So when it comes to these kinds of catalysts, again, add it to your homework, add it to your due diligence, wait for the stock to come at a price range that is right for you, and then you start building out your position from there. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I can't wait to see how Lucid performs going into tomorrow, and we'll be talking real soon.